Hello everyone, how are you? In this video, I want to talk about multilingual brain exercises, like the first part, and I want to help you guys in order to reach higher levels. So before starting with this video, I want to tell something about my Patreon page, because there I have like extra language learning tips. So if you want to get some extra advice, my extra content on my Patreon page could be helpful. And my Patreon page is the first link below this video. And for just $1 per month, you'll already get access to this extra content. Okay, let's continue with the video. I want to talk about how you could improve higher levels. The exercise of today is about describing objects. And like when you see this, like a glass, when you see this object, it might be very easy to describe, right? Like a very basic word. But it's a completely different exercise if you're going to have a look at describing one object for 1 minute. So 1 minute talking about this glass, and 1 minute to talking about this object. Okay, that is not easy. I think that's not easy. Talking about this pen, I think it's going to be difficult for 1 minute. Okay, and when you're doing this exercise, I think it's good if you're doing that in your mother tongue. Why in your mother tongue? Because then you are more talking from your heart, you know? You are going to realize that when you say it in your mother tongue, that you will use a lot of different words to give a very detailed description of that object, okay? And because it's very detailed, you will see that there will, you'll find a lot of new words which you might not know in the language which you want to improve. Okay, so for example, if you have this glass, talking 1 minute about it, you could talk about the form of the glass, you could talk about the color, about the transparency, you could talk about maybe where they serve these glasses, where you can find them, what is the history of it, a lot, you know, because it's 1 minute, you will see that you must tell a lot about it. But the only thing is it cannot be off topic. So as long as it's about the glass, even when it's about the history about it, it's fine, okay? But the thing is, it must be about this glass, right? So this could be sort of like short presentation about this glass, right? Same with this pen, you know, you could describe the color, you know, that's easy, that's basic. But after that, you can talk about the form, about the details, about the function, but also maybe about the history of it. I don't care. Like it has to be 1 minute, right? It will find out that the first 10 seconds are going to be easy, because then you can talk about the color, about the form. That's maybe easy, but after that, it's the function. That's also easy. But once you're talking about the history, or about the way how people are using it, or the differences of how people could use it, whatever, it's going to be more specific and more difficult, you know. So you could also talk about expressions, you know, like so for example, 1 second, like, all right, in some languages this is an expression, right? Is the glass half full or half empty, right? Try to learn that in a new language. I'm not even sure if that expression exists in another language. I don't know. But that's something which you could research, you know? So, imagine that there's not an expression for it. Then you will also know it. But maybe, whatever. It could be a challenge to learn new expressions. But I think it's very funny that this glass, talking 1 minute about it, could be like a sort of cause or inspiration of learning new words. And I think that's really interesting. So the last thing what I want to say about this motivational brain exercise is you could do it in multiple languages. Then it becomes literally a multilingual brain exercise. So if you start, in my case, it's my mother tongue is Dutch, all right? So I try to say it 1 minute. I talk 1 minute about this glass in Dutch. So right now I am trying to talk about this glass for one minute. I'm going to try it, okay? So let's start. Oké, dit is een glas. Het is mooi qua vorm. Dit is een cirkeltje. En dat is heel erg interessant. Het is transparant. En de vraag is het glas half vol of half leeg? Dat weet ik niet. Nou, glazen hebben als functie dat je eruit kunt drinken. Dat is natuurlijk heel erg handig, helemaal als je op je feestje bent. Ik vind het heel erg mooi dat als ik dit glas zie, dat het een dat je ook een weerspiegeling ziet. Dus ik kan de weerspiegeling van bepaalde andere objecten in het glas zien. En dat is heel erg interessant. Daarnaast vind ik ook de sierlijke vormen mooi in het glas. Ik zie ook een soort van, ik weet niet of het een bloem is, maar daar lijkt het op, een soort object in het glas. Ik weet niet waar dit glas gekocht is, maar het ziet er mooi uit, kunstzinnig. En ja, ik vind het een heel interessant glas. En ik vind het belangrijk om mijn glazen goed te wassen, maar gelukkig heb ik een vaatwasser. En dan hoef ik dat niet handmatig te wassen, want dat kost veel meer tijd. En ja, ik ben benieuwd of er nog andere mensen zijn met zo'n glas. Ik zou het niet weten. Okay, alright, now I talk more or less 1 minute about the glass, okay? In Dutch, alright? And a good exercise, if that, when you would do that in your mother tongue, if you're trying to translate that to multiple different languages. So imagine, in my case, I think I speak Spanish, German and French at a B2 level. I want to get them on to the C1 level, right? So the multilingual brain exercise will be that I would translate this story which I had to Spanish, French, and German. As a, you know, this is just an example, okay? And that's very cool. But how are you doing that? I think it's cool that once you are giving a description about an object, whatever it is, a glass or a bottle, that you are recording your voice. I think that's cool. So try to record your message and try to listen to it, and then try to write down the words which you don't know. Just get a piece of paper, write down like, I don't know the words for example, sierlijk. What else did I said? Like glazenwasser of vaatwasser. I said vaatwasser. Sorry, vaatwasser. Vaatwasmachine. Like these words, I don't know them in French, German, and Spanish. I don't know it. So, and sierlijk, I also don't know it. So then I write down these words, and I have a sort of vocabulary list, and I'm doing multiple exercises. So let's say, what is a good amount? Maybe a good number. What's a good number? Maybe 5 objects during the day. So do this exercise with 5 objects. So a glass, maybe a chair, maybe something else, maybe maybe a T-shirt, and maybe what else? Something completely different. Let's say, what is a cool object? Maybe maybe a closet, all right, a closet, and then a very specific closet, right? So you really need an object, so it's as specific as possible. Yeah, and then like the audio file which you have of 1 minute, then just try to translate it to multiple languages, and then you'll find out which words you don't know. You write these words down. These become vocabulary lists. You do it with multiple objects, and if you do this with 5 objects during a day, and let's say you repeat this exercise multiple times per month, you definitely will improve. Like I think that's a way to get to reach a higher level. So I just want to say I hope that this exercise is helpful, guys, because I really like it when you are improving. And yeah, cheers. And keep in mind that this is just an advice. If this is not working for you for any reason, don't worry. Everyone has his own strategy. I 100% respect that. Cheers.